2 minutes till broadcast. One minute till broadcast. Thirty seconds till broadcast. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Begin transmission.
Broadcasting from the heart of the nation, the next generation in conservative talk radio. This is the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
Oh, yes, it is. What is up, my friends? Welcome into it. Hey, happy pre-Friday celebration, the greatest day of the entire week. We are ready to rock and roll for another one, my friends. And Donald Trump, I love it. I love the fact that he is working with Melania Trump, the First Lady of the United States. They were signing some executive orders yesterday, man, and you want to talk about long-term investments, that's how you do it. We'll get to that in just a minute. We have that. Also, if we're going to have a healthcare conversation, let's have a healthcare conversation, shall we? It's about darn time, and Republicans are planning on putting up some type of bills and votes on the Senate and House floors throughout the month of December. So we will cover all of that and so much more. Welcome into the program. It is The Voice Reason. I am Andy Hooser, broadcasting right here in the heart of the nation in Wichita, Kansas, on our flagship radio station. But we are all over the country doing our thing.
Do it live!
Like we do every single day here on this show. Always appreciate you hanging out. Scott Angel will be on the program today with USA Energy Workers. We'll be talking about energy policy, the demand for energy moving forward with artificial intelligence. That's always an interesting conversation. We're learning more about how much energy is going to be needed. And while we were critical about the electric grid that wasn't able to cool your home during the summertime, warm your home during the wintertime, and be able to charge your electric vehicle, if we can't do that, how the heck are we going to be able to power all these artificial intelligence services or data centers or whatever else we do? We're going to need a lot of energy, and we're going to need it really, really quickly. So what does that conversation look like? We'll do that with Scott at the bottom of the hour. But last night, if you missed it, we were covering live on the program yesterday the ongoing House conversation. The Republicans, Democrats, both were just trying to get in their couple minutes of glory, their video of them ranting and raving so they could email it to their affiliates and be like, look what I did to fight for this cause. And it was kind of ridiculous because Democrats have really no influence, no power, no ability to fight or stop anything in the House of Representatives. And that's a good thing, in my opinion, being a conservative and a Republican, not wanting to see the Democrat agenda move forward. But deeper than that, they were really concerned about two issues, which I found kind of interesting. Number one was the health care reform, which, according to Hakeem Jeffries, he says that we're going to continue to fight. We're going to continue to do this whole health care reform issue. That essentially means everything that we did during the One Big Beautiful Bill of putting work requirements in, getting rid of some Obamacare subsidies during the COVID-19 pandemic, and just being back to prior to COVID on healthcare policy, that's where we're at again. And they don't like that. They say that now we're going to see premiums and deductibles like double and triple across the nation. And that's a problem. Like, we should not have that happen. So in the deeper realm of issues, they were really angry about that. All right, let's have that conversation. But after all of that, we voted, and Republicans passed it, and it went to the president's desk. Now, he signed it late last night. At the same time, him and Melania Trump, the first lady, one of the more prestigious first ladies that we've seen in the White House for a very long time, were also signing executive orders, and one of them was probably one of the coolest investments that I've seen in a while, and it's like advocating and hoping that certain industries and companies actually help out with this investment, but looking and focusing on the foster care program.
The Bible tells us that one of the measures of any society is how it cares for vulnerable children and orphans. So important, and it's so big in the Bible. So as we make America great again, we are going to protect American children in foster care, and we're going to ensure that they will never, ever be forgotten. These children will never be forgotten, and they're going to grow up to be unbelievable, strong, smart, wealthy, productive citizens.
Yeah. All right. So, President, I love this, and I love it on so many different fronts. Number one is this is a reminder that Melania Trump is still there. As you know, she's not necessarily always in the public limelight. She usually likes to work behind the scenes, and she's been very focused on the children. She's been focused on trying to recover and save children from Russia and the whole human trafficking issue with Russia and Ukraine, working directly with Vladimir Putin, trying to get that issue handled. She's been seen a lot of times going out and meeting at different schools, talking to different children. That's her thing. And every first lady always has their particular issue they like to focus on. That's her issue. So you know this has Melania Trump written all over it. In fact, she was there. They walked out together. She spoke last night about this issue as well. I love that. I love how influential that Melania is on some of this policy. The other part that I really enjoy about this, and I know it's not the sexiest issue to talk about on the radio, but that's why I'm bringing it up, is because there are so many other major issues in the nation right now that these kind of issues, long-term investments, long-term goals that Donald Trump will never see the benefits of, that we won't see for probably another 5, 10, 15, 20 years. It's not a whole long-term game of we need to continue to, Joe Biden's, we're going to solve and cure cancer in the next 10 years, so you have to keep me in office for another term. Like, that's not the kind of issue we're dealing with here. This is almost like a forgotten issue, a lost issue in the nation. Children that are stuck in the orphanages, still children stuck in the foster care system that don't get a lot of attention, especially politically, especially from the president of the United States. I don't remember the last time a president talked about foster care issues that said, hey, we need to invest. And what he's advocating for, which the executive order was, the Fostering the Future program, that includes pledges from different companies and institutions around the nation to invest in teaching, training, and mentoring in the youth of the country. The president spoke with the importance of faith-based services within the foster care system and said that we need to be investing money in this. If we invest money in training and giving them proper education and getting their foot in the door, they already have the obstacles of not having the family unit, not getting them set up with the proper education system, that if we invest in, not the government investing, this is the key issue. I'm sure the government's going to do something because they always do. But if we focus on, like he said, pledging American companies, American institutions, American nonprofits, the issues of mental health problems for the young generation, crime from the young generation, homelessness from the young generation, hopelessness from the young generation. This is a long-term goal in a long-term game that's going to start turning around with Donald Trump's movement here. And I love it. It's a feel-good movement during the holiday season. But more importantly than that, we have all these other really loud, chaotic noises around us. We hear the mainstream media. Donald Trump wants to import H-1B visa programs. We're not talented as a workforce. We have the global issues. He's not focused on America first. We're not focused on the energy market. Whatever the flavor of the day is for someone's individual and personal wants and personal topic that drives them nuts. This is one that doesn't really get the attention, and it's something that should be focused on. So I applaud him for that. I thought it was really neat, and I'm glad he focused on it. Then, of course, he went and signed the continuing resolution. We're now officially open as a government, so well done. We did it. We now have a functioning government again. And if you want to have a conversation about healthcare, let's have a conversation about healthcare.
What's trending today?
What do we do now? We're ending the subsidies for certain Obamacare plans. We are ending the COVID-19 era Obamacare subsidies, which are a lot of money. In fact, it was close to $1 trillion. We're ending that. You still qualify for Obamacare. It's not going anywhere as long as you qualify by either working 20 hours, going to school 20 hours, or volunteering 20 hours a week. It's really not that difficult. If you do that, you still qualify, and you got to be a U.S. citizen. We're not doing it for illegal aliens. We're not doing it for undocumented workers. We're not doing it for people here on visas. You don't need government social programs if you're coming here either legally or illegally. You're not needing government services like this. The whole point of bringing people into this country, if we do need them for certain industries, for teaching, or for work, or for whatever that they're coming in for, if they're buying businesses, if they're trying to start businesses, you don't need government programs, period, end of story. It's simple as that. So I don't know what the big fuss is about Obamacare. If you want to talk about the premiums and deductibles and the prices of healthcare going up, fine. Let's talk about them going up. U.S. Senator Roger Marshall, my senator here from the state of Kansas, sitting down with CNN saying this is going to be an issue we will focus on, we will address, and it's going to happen in the month of December.
Our insurance companies have put the shaft to American consumers for so long. Our premiums have went up, they doubled since Obamacare care came around, and the insurance companies' values of their stock have went up more than 1,000%.
So you'll vote no on the healthcare subsidies vote next month, I presume?
Absolutely.
And then you'll have this plan laid out, and Leader Thune's going to bring it to the floor for a vote?
Yes, and it's not going to be perfect. I think there'll be more work to do after that. We're going to do as much as we can to get something ready by then. And then hopefully before the January 30th deadline of this next continuing resolution, we can work on a bipartisan way. And by the way, these 8 people that walked across the line, they are absolutely profiles in courage, and they're going to be very central to what this bill looks like.
All right, so there's the conversation. Where are we at now with Obamacare? It's failing. We already knew that. We knew that when it started passing during the Barack Obama administration in 2008, 2009, 2010, whenever he passed Obamacare. We knew it was a major failure back then. And when Barack Obama said, if you want to keep your doctor, you can keep your doctor. If you want to keep your plan, you can keep your plan. It's not going to change anything. It's only going to give a government option for individuals that can't afford the average regular healthcare system. Now, I want to preface that, for those that don't remember, we still had a lot of the government in bed with insurance companies back in the day then as well. We just expanded Medicaid to allow more people to be on it, to not just individuals that were under the age or elderly or those that are disabled, but now anybody that just had a low income to qualify for these programs. And if you are involved in the healthcare industry at all, in any way, shape, or form, you realize now that the very few doctors that actually take and accept Medicaid are now bogged down because, well, not very many doctors accept Medicaid, and now the people that truly need it, the ones that are disabled, the ones that are elderly, the ones that actually truly need it, can't get in because everybody else is flooding in just because they're just on the low-income scale. That's not the way a system's supposed to work. Now, there are 2 options here, and we have to look at both of them seriously, and one of them is obviously the common sense way to go, so it's kind of a rhetorical question. Number 1, we can replace Obamacare, and we can go back to a private market, and we can put up the bill like Roger Marshall, senator from Kansas, is talking about, which is to getting rid of government subsidizing insurance companies at all. Figure it out. You're on the private market. Open up the markets, bring 10 new insurance companies in, have competition that raises quality, that lowers the prices, and you can purchase a la carte what you think you need as an individual. And I know just that comment right there, the Democrats, they are losing their mind over that idea. They're going crazy. I know it. They're going crazy with that one. How dare you? Healthcare should never be for profit. I can hear the talking points right now. Your tweets are going to be posted all over my page here momentarily, which you can find me at Hooser Reason. We already know it's coming. I totally get it. Healthcare should never be for profit. They're not really taking care of their people. It's all about the interest in their profits and nobody else. It's what you hear. But the private market, if you understand the basics of a Laffer curve, the private market, supply and demand, means that you get the best quality for the best price for the most number of consumers possibly out there, because that's how the private market works. And that's what we need to get back to, ending all subsidies to insurance companies, period. And Donald Trump teased it. Roger Marshall's teasing it. That's one of the plans coming up. There's another option, though, and it's not a good option, but it's another option. And this is where I'm concerned that Republicans, and some Republicans, unfortunately, don't quite understand the opportunity that's being presented to them on a golden platter right now with this discussion of health care, with Donald Trump wanting to repeal Obamacare in the first administration and was being blocked thanks to Mr. John McCain with his brain cancer flying from Arizona to Washington to be helped onto the Senate floor to vote against the Obamacare repeal just to spite Donald Trump because that was the kind of guy that he was, that now we still have Republicans, unfortunately, that still believe in that same mindset. Senator Rick Scott from the state of Florida has released a statement, according to Fox News, saying that, quote, I just think we ought to fix Obamacare. So the way I think about it is, look, if you want to buy off the exchange as Obamacare product, do it. If that's what you want, I mean, leave it there. But I know what a consumer is going to do. Consumers are going to be way more creative on how they take care of themselves, advocating for other private options as well, which is good, more private options. But he wants to fix Obamacare by leaving it alone and let people still have that choice if what they want to. Seems vaguely familiar with the talking points and the rhetoric we heard from the Obama administration when we started this, that if you want to keep your stuff, you can. If you want to go on the government option, you totally can. We'll talk about why that's not going to work when we come back around the corner. Stay here.
This is the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
When America builds, the world follows. Our energy powered the 20th century. We've set the standard for generations, and we never waited for permission. But now, we're being held back. Outdated rules, endless delays. Without permitting reform, Washington's red tape is slowing us down while other nations race ahead. It doesn't have to be this way. We can clear the way for energy that's affordable, reliable, and built right here. Because what's built here is felt here. Lower costs, more jobs, stronger communities. That's what permitting reform makes possible. Energy didn't just shape our country, it powered the American dream. And with our innovation, we can lead the 21st century. Congress has a choice. Build America's energy future or risk falling behind. Tell Congress, pass permitting reform now.
Miss any part of the show? Well, don't worry. Now's your chance to go find the podcast and listen to as much of the Voice of Reason as you'd like. As the show continues to grow all across the nation with great radio affiliates, we also continue to grow as one of the top conservative podcasts, ranked 5th on the MillionPodcast.com Best 50 Conservative Leadership Podcasts in the nation, and number 1 on FeedSpot.com's 30 Best Conservative Talk Shows in the country. The show continues to grow each and every day. Just find us on any of your favorite podcasting sites at The Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser. Hey, did you know that you can have multiple different networks on one single smartphone? Well, with Patriot Mobile, you can. It's time for you to sign up for the Patriot Mobile primary phone plan with plans as low as $15 a month, where you can have 2 numbers and 2 networks on one single phone. And right now, if you sign up using the promo code REASON, you can get an entire month absolutely free. It's the Patriot Mobile One plan. 1 phone, 2 numbers, and 2 networks. And it's all at patriotmobile.com/reason. Again, patriotmobile.com, and use the promo code REASON.
What fuels the freedom to dream bigger? How did 2 guys in a cramped California garage reimagine the phone and put the power of the universe at our fingertips? At Americans for Prosperity, we believe greatness can happen anywhere. We just need freedom and the opportunity to make it real. But today, with a rigid system stifling progress, limiting creativity, and holding us back. That's why at AFP, we offer solutions that tackle the most critical challenges facing our country, so there's nothing standing in the way of America's next breakthrough. Because what we build today doesn't just shape the future, it defines it. How will you be defined? Take your first step today with Americans for Prosperity.
When you choose Patriot Mobile, you're not just picking a wireless provider. You're choosing a company that shares your values. It's easy to switch, and you can keep your number, your phone, and most importantly, your values. With Patriot Mobile, you get the power of nationwide coverage on all 3 major networks. That means wherever life takes you, we've got you covered on the same reliable networks you already know and trust. And when you need us, we're here for you right here at home. Our customer service is 100% US-based because we believe that support should come from people who understand you and your values. At Patriot Mobile, you're not just another call, you're a priority. In today's world, where you spend your money matters more than ever, every dollar is a vote for the kind of future you want to build. Join the thousands of Americans making a difference with every call, every text, and every connection. Choose a company that shares your values. Choose Patriot Mobile.
Switch today and get 1 month of service absolutely free by going to patriotmobile.com/reason.
When reason meets radio. This is the voice of reason with Andy Hooser.
It was 2021 when I developed the idea to establish an impactful platform with an important mission: to provide individuals from the foster care community the ability to secure an entry-level job position and, in turn, financial independence.
All right, so Melania Trump last night talking about the foster care program, the investments in the future of the youth of America with the foster care system. That's pretty exciting. And again, it may not be the biggest issue. I think it's long-term. We're going to be really important. We're going to see these effects down the road when someone's like, oh, hey, look at that, things are turning around. I wonder why. It's because of things like this that a lot of times don't get a lot of attention. Hey, want to tell you about my friends over at Americans for Prosperity. Speaking of the long-term game, we are about ready to hit 250 years of this nation, which is exciting. We're, a month, 2 months away until the beginning of the birthday year, and I think it's going to be a birthday celebration all year long, according to President Donald Trump. That means we get to celebrate, but in order to celebrate, we have to understand our history, and you can understand the history by doing a true deep dive into the average American that has fought, that has risen for the challenges and faced the challenges of their time to make America great and make America what it is. It's not the type of education that you're going to get in the public education system, which is really neat. And that's why our friends over at Americans for Prosperity are doing a year-long campaign, and I want you to go to their website, takeonesmallstep.com. TakeOneSmallStep.com. You can learn about it, teach your friends, teach your neighbors, teach your family, teach your children, and let's learn about the greatness of this nation as we celebrate 250 years with the United States and our friends over at Americans for Prosperity. All right, so I'm hoping that during the conversation with this healthcare issue, that even those that like government healthcare, that like socialized healthcare, that like the options, Andy, even with the Laffer curve, there's few people that are left out. They can't afford healthcare. We need other options. I understand that. But I want you to put it in this perspective for just a moment. Remember, again, Barack Obama back in the day, if you want to keep your plan, you can keep your plan. If you want to keep your doctor, you can keep your doctor. If you want to keep your health insurance, you can keep your health insurance. That was the rhetoric. And said, all we're doing is just creating a government option to where if people that can't afford everything else want to get on this option, that's all you got to do. Here's the issue. And this is what Rick Scott just said with this Fox News conversation as well. I think we need to fix Obamacare. So that way, if you want to buy off the exchange, Obamacare, and buy an Obamacare product, you can do that. However, people are going to start taking themselves a little bit more serious in their own health care needs and saying that most will get off of the plan, but the option will be there if we want. And that's why we need, according to him, we need to fix it and not replace it. Now, number one, there are very few people on the Obamacare plans anyways already. Openly, choosingly, willingly, because they didn't have any other options. That's another story. If you don't have any other options, that's all you have, then that's all you have. And let's remember, the healthcare insurance industry as a whole is a complete scam. The entire thing is a scam. Why you can walk into a clinic, if you, let's say, broke your arm, you need a cast. You walk in there, they fix you up, patch you up, throw the cast on you. If you walk out and you don't have insurance, what, $70, $100, a couple $100? If you go in there with insurance, all of a sudden you're looking at a $5,000 bill. You get the bill. If you haven't paid your deductible for the year, then you got to pay whatever your deductible is. Then they'll start covering it. Many of them now only cover it like 80%. It's a complete scam. It's completely ridiculous. We don't need that. But if we are going to have a system of people being covered for major issues, just God forbid if something happens, we have the direct primary care providers. That's a great optionality where you don't need health insurance and you have some type of membership. And if you get rid of Obamacare altogether, then you'll have a private market with prices that are set at a way better rate. And if you stop subsidizing on the back end through the federal government, the prices will go down even more because that way we're not looking towards the government to fund the majority of it. Having Obamacare at all will do the same thing it did at the beginning when they gave us this option, is that the government who's not looking for a profit can undercut everybody else, and you get what you pay for, so the quality's really crappy, but you undercut everybody else, you drive the small guys out of business, and you force the big guys to consolidate into a monopoly that gets on the back and in the bed with the federal government with more subsidies. Get rid of it, repeal Obamacare, and be done with this disaster from the last couple decades.
This is the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
Hey, it's Andy Hooser with the Voice of Reason. Fighting for conservative principles seems more difficult all the time. The progressive left finds new and creative ways to limit freedom, abuse power, and trample the Constitution each and every day. That's why we need the knowledge, resources, and common sense to push back. And that's where we can help. Head to our website at HooserReason.com. There you can find our latest blog discussing topical issues of the day. Let us know your thoughts on current events with different surveys and chat rooms. And keep track of what I might be doing or where I may be speaking. Plus, when you head to the website, you can always get great deals and different offers from all of our great radio partners. Finally, if you want more of the show, you can find our podcasts with all of our great episodes and your favorite guests. And make sure to check out the latest Voice of Reason infomercials and maybe some other special content. And it's all because of you being part of the Hoosier-holic family. Let's continue to fight for conservative common sense principles together by going to HooserReason.com. Why? Because it's kind of the reasonable thing to do. The Hoosier Media Network continues to grow every single day with new shows, new content, and new information as we continue to fight the narrative against the mainstream and give you the alternative view of the world. The Hoosier Media Network is home to great TV, radio, and podcasting programs on any topic of any interest. From politics and current events to religion and spirituality, holistic and alternative health, entertainment, motivational speakers, and so much more. And with the Hoosier Media Network, you can enjoy more content from the Voice of Reason like this. With the vaccinations, with the quote-unquote health pandemic, now that the emergency response is going to be lifted by the end of this month, with the continued forcefulness of vaccines that they've done, are we at the stage in society that you thought that we would be in at this time?
That's a good question. I haven't had that one. I thought we were going to be further along with disclosure of the data and acknowledgement by the government of what's happened here. Instead, what we've seen is the ongoing suppression of information, including public health information that doctors could use to help start protecting their patients from the long-range consequences of these if they only had the data. So what has happened is some really interesting information has popped in the UK that's demonstrated that their lead public health officer has really weaponized fear and manipulated the people. That's creating a lot of blowback over there. And we still have just a ton of denialism, cover-ups and everything else going on. They just don't seem to want to come clean.
That is very true. Now, here's the big question. Is it starting to get leaked out? Obviously, we heard the last couple days the other side losing their minds over, for example, the January 6th videos coming out. There's now an ethics complaint being filed against House Speaker Kevin McCarthy because the video was released to the public for our personal knowledge and understanding and information. Is the truth beginning to come out on this issue as well? Not only with, obviously, we see the origins of COVID coming out, which they're trying to push back from, realizing that it wasn't Ozzy Osbourne biting the head off a bat over in China to spread this virus, but it was actually the Wuhan lab that was spreading this. So that's starting to happen. Will the truth come out on this vaccine stuff too?
Yeah, the backstory on that was that this appears to have been a retaliation because the Chinese government was aligning itself with Russia, and so we decided that this was the right time to really emphasize the role of the CCP and the Wuhan Institute of Virology, while obscuring the fact that the tech was transferred to them by EcoHealth Alliance, and the money to do the job was provided by the U.S. government. So that's an interesting twist. Is the information coming out about the jabs? Somewhat. There's still just a ton of denialism, pushback. The whole propaganda apparatus is still absolutely in gear. The fifth gen warfare psyops is still in progress. And we did have a fascinating article the other day that issued in Newsweek. This is from my friend Scott Atlas. America's COVID response was based on lies, published on the 6th in Newsweek. This is one of the most frank acknowledgments of what's happened that I've seen. But it focuses mostly on the lockdowns, and I think there's growing universal agreement that the lockdowns were a huge government overstep. Whatever you think about the jabs, whether they're safe or effective or not, pretty much there's universal acknowledgement that the lockdowns caused enormous damage economically, excess loss of life, destroying businesses, destroying people's income and ability to make a living, and for absolutely no purpose at all.
Listen to all these programs and so much more as we try to bring back knowledge, wisdom, and truth back into the world. And we do that right here with the Hooser Media Network, the future of media.
Truth, reason, and common sense. This is the voice of reason with Andy Hooser.
In my state included, which is one of the most blessed and cursed states as it relates to climate. We're on the tip of the spear of climate change. Simultaneous droughts and simultaneous floods. The hots are getting a lot hotter, the dries drier. You saw one of the most devastating wildfires in American history in the middle of winter.
Yeah, I wonder why. Wonder why
in
that
Los
is.
Angeles.
Wonder why that is,
in
buddy.
January. 100-mile-an-hour winds attached to fire.
The devastation. All right, Gavin Newsom. So he's still doing his wannabe, I'm not running for president yet, but I'm still trying to prepare myself by getting out there and taunting the state of Texas and his gerrymandering and everything else he's doing. So apparently now the whole reason that we're having trouble building and we're having trouble preparing and having trouble doing preventative measures is because, well, California's just cursed and loved all at the same time, and that's why we had this crazy wildfire. Here's a wild concept for you, Mr. Gavin Newsom, and I know you didn't like it, but, you could do some preventative measure like, I don't know, getting rid of dead trees in the woods. Like, I mean, you don't have Kindle just sitting there when it's wintertime and it's dry because it's wintertime and it's LA, so you're not going to be like 20 degrees and getting snow all the time, and then you have a fire and then it goes crazy. So just think it outside the box for you, buddy. Looking out for California. All right, let's get into what's trending, shall we?
What's trending today?
Speaking of, by the way, environmental policy and the future of energy, where we're at and where we're going right now under the Trump administration, finally making some changes, in our opinion, some desperately much needed changes, and under the EPA and where we're at with energy getting prices back down. I don't know if you've noticed or not, the gas prices are down, well, about where they were 4 years ago when Donald Trump left office, and now they're back down there. It only took them 8 months, 10 months to get back to that level. Under the Biden administration, it was climbing pretty dramatically, even after completely depleting our oil reserves. That's kind of crazy. To talk about some of that and so much more, really happy to have on the program with USA Energy Workers. You can find them online, usaenergyworkers.com. The man himself, Mr. Scott Angel. Scott, how are you, my friend?
I am great, Andy. It is absolutely great to hear your voice, and it's an honor to be speaking on your show and talking to the audience that you have across America. Clearly, we've made a pivot in public policy, as you said, by going from energy defense to energy offense, and it couldn't come at a better time. As you said earlier, again, gasoline prices lowest in 4 years, national average below $3, headed in the right direction. It's not good luck, it's good management.
Yeah, that is exactly. We are moving in the right direction. And it's so nice. It's so refreshing, isn't it? And not only are we seeing the gas prices come down, we're actually exporting again. We're putting it on the market. OPEC wanting to buy our stuff. Donald Trump actually positioning ourselves to be a replacement for Russian oil during a conflict when countries say they want to fight Russia against Ukraine, but at the same time they're buying the oil that keeps them funded financially. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. So in the long term, the Trump administration working on many different fronts right now, aren't they?
Absolutely. So many fronts. And I think it really starts, Andy, with a realization that in a modern economy, affordable energy is not a luxury, but rather a necessity. You know, experts tell us that about 40% of overall inflation is driven by energy inflation. So it should not have been a surprise how we witnessed historic inflation in the previous administration. At the same time, we were enduring spikes in energy prices, right?
Yeah.
You know, Andy, look, we've had 6 recessions in this country from 1973 to 2019, and each one of those recessions were preceded by a spike in energy prices. This administration understands that in a modern economy, you have to have affordable energy, and we're starting to see the benefits of that, no doubt.
That is really nice. We're seeing a regeneration of the oil and natural gas because the Biden administration put a lot of regulation on those, really trying to stifle the drilling for oil, the drilling and fracking for natural gas. At the same time, we're seeing a renewed energy push for nuclear energy. Living here in Kansas, on where my flagship is that we've had a lot of talk about micro nuclear plants around communities, to where one little nuclear, what do they call it, the micro reactors, whatever they call them, could really power almost an entire town on their own. AI companies are now looking at building little mini reactors around their own AI places because of the demand for energy on those. Is that the future of energy, do you think, Scott?
Well, it certainly is. And, you know, I would say that no doubt that oil and natural gas are going to continue to be the workhorse of the energy portfolio of the country. But I am from all of the above generation. I believe we need to set a big table and invite everybody who can contribute in a meaningful way to the energy portfolio of this country. But you got to stand on your own. Don't look to the taxpayers to fund your business model. Let's have a situation where if you have a solution, let's have a regulatory environment that allows your solution to come forward. But at the same time, let's make sure that the taxpayers are not paying for your opportunity. That's not what this is about. But we fundamentally believe at USA Energy Workers, whether it's nuclear, it's wind, it's solar, it's oil and gas, HydroConnect, there is an opportunity for everybody. And again, when you realize what this president has realized, that we have to have affordable energy. One of the most important statistics that I recently kind of stumbled upon is this observation, Andy. There are no wealthy, low energy consuming nations on the planet. In a lot of ways, energy consumption has become a proxy for human prosperity. So if we don't want to reach peak human prosperity, then we should be rejecting policies that reach human energy consumption.
Yeah.
It is a clear link between those two. When we build more things when we have affordable energy. We manufacture more cars. We build more homes. We have a more robust retail, travel, entertainment sectors. There's just so many positive things that come out of affordable. I didn't say cheap, affordable energy. And again, when you take a look at what has happened, Andy, in this administration, it's happened at all levels. On the executive branch with regards to the establishment of a national energy dominance council, with the declaration of a national energy emergency, with regards to the legislative branch with the One Big Beautiful Bill and some of the things that they put in there regarding energy, with regards to the Supreme Court, a unanimous Supreme Court decision. When is the last time you heard those words together? A unanimous Supreme Court decision in the case called Eagle County Infrastructure versus Colorado. Just amazing. 7 counties infrastructure versus Eagle County, Colorado. Amazing reset on environmental reviews. So things are in the right direction, but I think we should also say these good things don't happen because of magic.
That's right.
Or good luck. They happen because of good management.
Yeah, that's a really great point. I like that. That leads us to, you mentioned all the subsidies going to a certain energy industries. What's the future now of solar and windmills? Living in Kansas, again, western Kansas, I drove through there just a few months ago. There are fields of wind farms, and the windmills, half of them aren't even turning. They don't work. I just got an email from a listener down in Oklahoma a few days ago, same thing, saying, hey, there are fields of these hundreds of acres of these windmills. Half of them aren't turning. Half of them aren't working with all the subsidies gone. And in fact, the EPA bringing back $1 billion plus that went out right at the end of the Biden administration, trying to send this money out. What's the future of these? Is that a dead industry now, do you think?
Well, look, I would say this much. Whether it's dead or not, I would say that the private sector has the right to deploy capital where they think they can get a return on the investment.
Yes.
I think what is dead is the idea and the concept that the taxpayers are going to heavily subsidize these ventures. Look, again, I think we need energy. I think affordable energy is important.
Sure.
I've made that very clear. But at the same time, it is not for the taxpayers to do this. So, yeah, what I think is dead is not wind energy. What I think is dead is the tremendous amount of taxpayer support for that, which, again, kind of goes hand in hand with the name of your show, right? It's about common sense, and it made no sense whatsoever. And look, whether it's the EPA administrator, whether it's the Secretary of Energy, the Secretary of Interior, these folks have a lot of courage to start trying to align public policy with common sense, and that's what we're seeing, and it's benefiting every American at every zip code across the land.
Yeah, it really is. I'm right there with you. I would love to put a solar panel on my house and just use that for my own personal need. Do we need the subsidizing from the government? No. Should we try to power an entire city with an entire field of thousands of acres of those things? No, I think that's a little ridiculous because it's not cost effective and it's not efficient the way that it needs to. We're talking with Scott Angel. He's with the U.S. Energy Workers. USEnergyWorkers.com is the website. Scott, are we finally getting our reserves filled back up with oil again as well? I know that we're having a higher demand by selling it on the global market more so than we have before, but the Biden administration, in their ingenious plan to try and lower gas prices by releasing 1 million barrels a day of oil when we consume 22 million barrels of oil a day in this nation, didn't quite work out. But are we getting those replenished again, do you think?
Yeah, I think Secretary Wright at the Department of Energy has indicated that that is part of the plan. And just kind of going back to what happened when the stockpiles were released. Again, those stockpiles were put together over time to protect America in the time of an emergency, not because of poor economic decisions. What happened when we did that was right in advance of the midterm elections, was meant to stabilize gasoline prices, which was not the intended use of that stockpile. It would be the equivalent of putting a Band-Aid on a cancer patient. That's how bad that was. And it was unfortunate. It helped lower prices in the short term, but it was I guess what I would call maybe a sugar rush, or put us in a sugar coma, right?
Yeah.
A rush here for a second, but long term not worth it. And so, again, look, all of these policies that fail to realize the impact of sustainable energy policy. What we felt in the Gulf of America, at that time the Gulf of Mexico, would happen in probably about within 25 days of the previous president, taking oath of office. And I'm not here to be political. I'm just giving the facts.
That's right.
Within 25 days of taking the oath of office, they began to cancel and pause lease sales in the Gulf of Mexico. At the same time, they were begging OPEC to give us more, in spite of the fact that there was a 2017 report that came out of the Obama-Biden administration that said if we fail to have lease sales in the Gulf, we are going to have to import more,
That's
often
right.
at higher carbon intensity ratios.
Scott, I tell you what, hang on, hold that thought. We got to take a hard break here. Hang on the line. USAEnergyWorkers.com. Stay here.
With Andy Hooser.
Big government is broken. Every year, politicians fail to pass a budget as the deficit continues to grow. Every month, unelected bureaucrats pile on rules no one voted for, strangling our economy. And every day, D.C.'s broken system gets in the way of the American dream. Washington isn't working, and the people pay the price. At Americans for Prosperity, we believe it's time to fix the system. Now, join the movement to make government work.
As you know, I'm always looking for a good snack, but it's hard to find good quality snacks without all the unhealthy additives. But now that problem is over. It's time to enjoy J&S Smoked Snacks. Real cuts of beef, real wood smoke, and real flavor that's crafted in small batches to keep every bag fresh. I promise you'll be addicted. And with numerous different flavors, you'll never get enough. This is not your average gas station jerky. It's J&S Smoked Snacks. Find them online at jssmokedsnacks.com and tell them I sent you.
When you choose Patriot Mobile, you're not just picking a wireless provider. You're choosing a company that shares your values. It's easy to switch, and you can keep your number, your phone, and most importantly, your values. With Patriot Mobile, you get the power of nationwide coverage on all 3 major networks. That means wherever life takes you, we've got you covered on the same reliable networks you already know and trust. And when you need us, we're here for you right here at home. Our customer service is 100% US-based because we believe that support should come from people who understand you and your values. At Patriot Mobile, you're not just another call, you're a priority. In today's world, where you spend your money matters more than ever, every dollar is a vote for the kind of future you want to build. Join the thousands of Americans making a difference with every call, every text, and every connection. Choose a company that shares your values. Choose Patriot Mobile.
Switch today and get 1 month of service absolutely free by going to patriotmobile.com/reason.
When it comes,
what fuels the freedom to dream bigger? Our country's greatest breakthroughs were born from bold ideas and the ability to take one small step forward. At Americans for Prosperity, freedom and opportunity find their defenders. Because our country's next giant leap is just around the corner. Are you ready to step up?
Hey, the live show may be almost over today, but it doesn't have to be for you. As always, enjoy the Voice of Reason with our daily podcast by finding the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser on any of your favorite podcasting sites. Just find us, subscribe, have it automatically downloaded, and listen at your convenience whenever you want to bring some more reason into your day. And a lot of people are doing it. Also, you can always find the video of the show, along with articles, additional commentary, and maybe a few sarcastic remarks by following us on our social media. Stay up to date with everything going on with the show, including upcoming guests, breaking news stories, interesting articles, and maybe some memes. Help us in the ongoing battle with censorship and shadow banning from social media by following us on the social media at Hooser Reason on all of our social media sites. For all these social media links, podcast links, contact information, or just general information of the show, go to our website at HooserReason.com. There you can listen live every day, read our latest monthly blog, find our radio affiliate list, or even listen to our latest infomercials and special content. Plus, you can always reach out to the program by sending me a message on social media, emailing us at HooserMediaNetwork@gmail.com, or sending an email through our website at HooserReason.com. Whether it's content on the show, whether it's a guest that you've liked or disliked, or whether you want to disagree with me, and disagreement's always appreciated. While you're there, make sure to sign up for our monthly newsletter. Each month, you'll get the latest update on the show, updates from the Hooser Media Network, and our latest blog discussing topical issues of the day. Finally, if you want to help support the show, become a member of our Patreon site and help us fight for the cause of truth, reason, and common sense every day, and get more of the same by becoming the ultimate Hoosierholic. Get additional interviews that sometimes we don't always get to air on the radio. Hear our special segments or even our infomercials before anyone else, and have a chance to chat with other great Hoosierholics from all over. By becoming a Patreon subscriber, you're not only helping the fight for conservative values, you're helping us get more content and information out through the Hooser Media Network. Find out more information online at HooserReason.com. Lastly, follow and support all of our partners with the show. The Voice of Reason has been growing more and more every year, and it's because of so many great partners helping us get the message out to you. From show partners to local radio affiliates in your area to streaming sites, podcasting sites, and more. We have so many supporters and listeners now than ever before, and we want to thank you. It's time to bring back common sense, and we do it right here every day with the Voice of Reason.
America's safe space for common sense. This is the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
Who are these people who are still blocking the truth from the public?
Well, to our knowledge, it is definitely members of the intelligence community. And then also, too, we were recently denied access out of the Department of War, stating that we didn't have access and the proper, I guess, need-to-know authorities to look at some of the classified footage that is out there. As you saw in that clip that you just showed, there's actually some footage that was dead dropped to Eric Burleson, of which he then provided it to the task force. And so all I have to say is, look, in the interest of national security and national defense, obviously this is something that we should question and look to find answers for, but also it also signifies a massive problem when you have elements within our own government that are denying access to Congress.
Oh, snap. Anna Paulina Luna, Congresswoman, one of our favorites here on the program, talking about, that was definitely part of our weird news of the day.
Weird news of the day.
There you go. So some of the information about technology that we may or may not have in the government, UFOs and UAPs that we're not aware of. Are they man-made? Are they government-made? Are they from ETs? What the heck's going on? Still trying to get some of that information. I can't wait. There is a documentary coming out next week that's been around for a while, Age of Disclosure, and it will finally be on, I believe, Amazon Prime next week, where a lot of government officials are coming out. It went to an independent film festival and blew up, and it's finally going to be made to the public soon, so I can't wait for that one. Talk about energy and the idea for zero-point energy and some of the other futuristic types of technology out there. Could we see it soon? I don't know. That would change everything. For sure. Right now, though, we're hanging out with USA Energy Workers, USAEnergyWorkers.com. Scott, I apologize. Hate to cut you off on that last segment. What is the future of energy demand in the nation? And we were kind of teasing this as well before about, before we had this push for all the electric vehicles, and then we saw California, we even saw Texas, we saw a lot of areas start going through brown and blackouts. I can't run my AC and charge my car at the same time. The grid's not set up for this. If we were having those problems, what kind of demand are we looking at moving forward when we start building these massive data centers and massive AI centers, do you think?
Well, energy demand likely to be up about 50% within the next 8 to 10 years. There's a lot of studies that have been published on that, just a tremendous amount of energy demand. And when you speak to those issues about, charging your phone and charging your car and having all of those issues, one of the things that we need to realize, Andy, and I know you get it, is that government does not produce energy. The private sector produces energy.
Yeah.
Okay? And so what we need is private sector investment. And the way you get private sector investment is that capital goes where capital is treated well. And, we basically have come through a period where we've had taxation, litigation, which all has kind of led to frustration and eventually strangulation. We need huge investments in the private sector to strengthen our grid. The AI data centers that you speak about or here they're knocking on our door. Whether or not America can take advantage of that is going to be a function of whether or not we have the energy, we can produce the energy to run those places. And again, as I said earlier, there are no wealthy, low energy consuming nations on the planet. I hope we never reach peak energy demand, because it appears that energy consumption again is a proxy for human prosperity.
That's
and
right.
Look, I know this is not grammatically correct, but I know your audience gets it when I say energy ain't easy.
That's very true.
Energy ain't easy. And we have gone from an all-of-government war on American energy policy to all of government support on American energy policy, executive branch, judicial branch, legislative branch, and it's going to continue to show up at every zip code. We believe that with all our heart that at USA Energy Workers, we are being unleashed every day, where we were tied up to a post in maybe the previous 4 years. And again, USA Energy Workers, the red, white, and blue, do it best. It made no sense for us to put energy workers on the bench in the previous administration while we were begging OPEC to give us more. Those days are gone. This administration realizes that energy affordability is hugely important in a modern economy. And again, stay tuned. I think you'll continue to see improvements along the way.
It's what it's about, my friend. I love it. Drill, baby, drill. Let's unleash the energy and let's have it here in the U.S. of A. Because, like you said, we do it better than anybody else around the world, and that's awesome. I love it. USAEnergyWorkers.com is the website. Go and see all their great information. Scott, we appreciate it very much, my friend. Keep up this fight. Happy early holidays to you. Let's get you back on and do it again real soon.
Absolutely, Andy. Thank you. Keep up the great work.
Hey, you as well. Appreciate it very much. Scott Angel right there, USA Energy Workers, USAEnergyWorkers.com is the website. Man, I love that. I love seeing energy being unleashed across the board. We're going to need it, and we're going to need it pretty quickly. And we're going to need to do it pretty quickly on many different fronts. So let's get her done, and thank God for the Trump administration. Deregulation, baby. It's what it's all about. Back at it again tomorrow for a Friday. Until then, be your own voice of reason. We'll see you back on the radio. Bye. Hey, it's Andy Hooser. You know, when I get off the air every day, the battle for me against limited government, censorship, and even unfactual content is far from over. That's why now I'm so happy to say that the Hooser Media Network is giving you more opportunity to catch the voice of reason along with other great shows and podcasts. It's been a long time in the works, and now you can finally enjoy more great content, services, and topical shows. We're the safe space for alternative talk, information, and ideas that the mainstream media absolutely hates. From holistic and alternative medicine, discussions on religion and spirituality, pure entertainment shows, and of course yours truly with the voice of reason. Plus, we offer numerous media services, including helping you set up your own podcast. Become your own voice of reason and bring your expertise to any fun issue or topic.